in the
what was
next
the
cycle?
first one? It was the oh my god, what's that cat
Meerkat.
looking thing called? Thank you, Jake. You're the best, man. The meerkat that came out. I think it was in the fall. It came out, and then we got that. I know it's not called this, but the armadillo looking thing, which I actually have. That was like honestly, I feel like it was 4 months ago. So I feel like it's about time that we're due for a new insect skin to come out. So maybe the next event will be an insect skin and, EJ on the side, as another option. But I'm actually kind of curious, what would they put, They're not putting any ants or insects. They're just doing, mammals up in here for your skin. Do you guys have any opinions what might be the new insect skin? What kind of animal it might be? Guppy says flopping fish.
I'd love to
Like a
see a good
Magikarp.
old Canadian beaver.
Ooh. Oh, you hear that, Otto? Yep, yep. We gotta get a beaver. Or you know what? I know a lot of people won't understand this reference, but I would like to see a cobra chicken. Those things are deadly.
Cobra chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? A beaver would be interesting. Okay, so let's analyze this for a second because the last time we analyzed this, it came to be pretty close to what we were talking about with what would be the next I guess element that we call it an element. What would we call it? The crystal. The next crystal
Yeah.
would be water. So it could be a beaver. That's a good call. Um,
Yeah.
right? Because if you look at the different, you got a fire, we have a leaf. We're almost playing a game that won't be mentioned. Um, it's a command skill. Is a beaver a command type animal? What would be a command type animal
Mm.
that would be a water type, right? Or if we're looking at the skin gallery, the next one would be resilience, right? Which is the
Yeah.
purpley one. So,
But say,
following how that goes, what would be resilient? A
Mhm.
cobra chicken? Cobra chicken sounds pretty resilient.
I'm just getting flashbacks of when one day one of them tried to attack me. Honestly, but oh, hey, Dunatron. Still not working, eh?
Most people so
Discord.
so so the people in the audience that don't know what a cobra chicken is, we live in the great country of Canada, and we have an animal that is a national bird called the Canadian goose. And it literally looks like a chicken with the head of a cobra, and it eats you. Like this thing will attack
Mhm.
you. If you don't feed it, it hits you hard. But if you want to know what a cobra chicken looks like, I will post an image for you guys, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But in Canada, they are very very fierce beings. In the states, they like to hunt them. Don't know why. Oh,
Well,
that
I do.
no, that's not what I wanted to post. Discord noob. I am a Discord noob. But yeah, so could we see a duck? Could we see a beaver? Who knows? But
Or they may try sorry, go ahead, Otto?
is that the cycle, like you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, or, maybe they might be lazy and try to use the same game mechanics because the meerkat and the oh my god, I can't remember the name.
It's Pinchy.
Thank you. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, but yeah, that one, they kind of, like, have the same game mechanics, it's just four-legged creature walking, so I can actually see a beaver going on, maybe a
It's
beaver might be the next one.
it's the same size. It's the same size. Like they seem to be like the meerkat and the pinchy is pitchy is the same kind of pitchy is the same size. So maybe it could be a beaver. And you want to know something? I wouldn't put it past the devs because the devs are incredibly cryptic in some of the things that they put into the game. Like, let's be honest, some of the hill skins are questionable on their artistic merit. I'm not going to say anything past that, but artistically, they have kind of a theme going. So you might see a beaver. I'd like to know what the
Yeah.
beaver looks like roaming across the roaming across. But I'd also like to see it. Like, I don't like snakes, but I'd like to see a snake, little snaky snake.
You
You
don't
know,
like snakes?
can't stand snakes or spiders, bro. I don't do snakes.
Oh,
Snakes or spiders are the two things that I can't stand. But
okay, Jake. Okay, you guys like spiders, right?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you.
okay,
I don't mind the spiders. Spiders are
really?
alright. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tell you guys a story, and you'll understand after this why I don't like spiders. So the year was 1996, and I was at a friend's cottage or summer home for some people who don't understand what a cottage is. And it's on a lake, and there was a dock. And I don't know if you guys know what a dock spider is, but imagine um, a 8-inch diameter spider that lives under the dock and makes his web in his home underneath the dock. And we were playing ball. We were playing with a ball, and the ball went into the water, and it kind of went underneath the end of the dock. And I went to grab it, and I put my head underneath the dock to reach for the ball. And there was this 8-inch. It was as big as my head, guys, as big as my head. And it looked at me, and I looked at that spider, and I screamed like a little girl. And ever since that day, when it came at me, like it lunged at me, like I don't know if you've ever seen the Aliens movie, but like I thought I was going to become an egg and pop a alien out of my chest, and I ran and screamed like a little girl. Now I did have explosive diarrhea for the rest of the trip. I'm not attributing it to the spider, but I did soil myself. Just
Oh
saying.
my god.
So associating myself with spiders, that's my story. So now you understand why I don't like spiders.
I think two or three more encounters, Otto, and you will get to use to like the spiders.
Yeah,
They are
yeah,
very
exactly.
friendly.
They are very friendly. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we say just to get Otto closer to a spider. Okay, I got three things to say. First off, Otto, we live in the same area. Thank
Yeah.
God we don't live in Australia because those spiders are like on steroids.
Yeah. Here,
Um,
here. This is what a
yeah,
dog spider looks like. This is how big a dog spider is. Tell me. Oh, what happened? Tell me you would not run away from that.
I'll
There's
run
nothing wrong with.
towards it.
There's nothing wrong. There's
Look, that
nothing
thing's
wrong.
huge.
you,
Iconic.
got, you got Cleo saying he's scared of old people. I'm afraid of old people with spiders too.
But the guy in the picture, the old man, is quite happy with the spider. You can
Yeah,
see on his face.
he's out of his mind. He is literally this.
That'd be me.
Okay, here. This is what I thought was going to happen to me, and I honestly, this guy looks happy too. Like, look how happy he is with that spider on his face. Okay, all right. That is not Otto. Trust me, that was not me. But anyways, that's a dock spider, and they get really big, and
Mm, yep, they can get huge. Actually, Dunatron wasn't able to talk, but he actually posted this question in chat.
okay. What was the
Um,
question?
yeah, the question is, how does the order of battle work? Can someone please ask it in voice chat? And he's referring to PvP. So, sorry, Dunatron, that you're not able to talk on stage. Don't know why Discord doesn't like people for some reason. But yeah, we can take it off from there. Otto, do you want to lead with that?
I'm actually looking for the question because I didn't hear it.
Okay,
You
one sec.
wanna just repost that for me? Um, how does the order of battle work?
Yeah, in PvP. So, not too sure exactly what he means,
Yeah, I'm
but
Can you clarify that question? I don't know what the order of battle means. If you're still in the chat, but that's something that I'd like to address if you have a question.
Yeah, like, are you talking about formations, or are you talking about the skills that they have, or the stats with regards to health, attack, all that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. If he reposts, we'll go back to it. But um, have you guys seen the changes to the Force of Life event?
Ooh. Oh, okay, you just got me excited now. Yes, I have, and I gotta say thank you, devs. If a dev is listening, thank you so much. You just made my entire year, and it's only April. Thank you.
What
Oh my god.
it had to get better from some of the other debacles that have been happening. But you know, I'm not talking about in game either. I'm just in general. 2024 has been a fun year so far. But yeah, like I'm seeing it. Um, I'm seeing the positive changes in the Force of Life event. Let's see how the state versus state goes next week. That's going to be even better. Um,
Mhm.
I hope those improvements. What's Jake and Oki think? Jake, start with you. What do you think of the changes? Is it going to help your gameplay?
I think the Force of Life changes are definitely good. I think it's
Good.
gonna make it a lot nicer to get those finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. How quick did you finish it with the change happened?
Yeah, I already have all my tasks done. I still need to hunt some more bunnies just to get some extra points.
Beautiful. Do you usually finish that event off every week with the top prize?
Yeah, yeah, I
So
definitely try to get it done. Just even if I already have the ornament, just to get the extra points and stuff.
do you buy the pack to get s- the skin fragments?
I have done. I don't do it every week, but
Yeah.
I normally honestly do it when I'm low on some spores and stuff because there's a good amount of spores in there.
Yeah, yeah, there's
Ooh.
definitely decent rewards in that pack. I stopped buying it when I reached my four yellow stars or gold stars, however you want to whatever color you want to attribute to them. I slowed down a little bit because I noticed what the 4 stars gave me and I was like that race was a little underwhelming, I would say. Oki, what's your opinion of the new
Me
update?
personally, I love the change.
Yeah,
The previous help button, I didn't enjoy it. This week, day 3 came in, and all the 200 or 400, I don't remember. I think 400 times it was already done. So
right?
the Alliance gift, it's quite improvement from the Alliance help button. Yeah,
Mhm. Yep, especially, for me personally, when I'm in season, that help button, easy. Because, for Vikings, we are always fighting, we're always healing. So, helping is easy. But when you're on server, I'll be lucky to even get like 300 helps in. But
I
now
think
with this,
that was the most difficult part, right? In a server, we usually on Saturday when there is a fight for a tree, we usually
Mhm.
just gather together and just push the button for the healing of the ants. Yeah, you send 2 squirters, you get
Yep,
some kills,
exactly.
you push the help button like that. But you need to
Yeah,
gather the alliance, let them know that do not use the speed ups for the heals, and that's how you would do it. But this with this change, it's quite improvement.
So
oh, that's interesting.
couple things we could touch on there for people who are listening in the audience. Do small batch healing. Number one, you save your speed ups. Okay. If you do smaller batch healing and allow your alliance to heal your troops, you're not using speed ups. So if you do 70,000 troops at a time, I know it's a little bit, it could be a little bit of annoying if you want to get back into a fight really quickly, but it does one of two things. Well, before the change, it allowed your teammates to get all the healing um, uh, recognition. Also, it saved you on heals for, if you're doing a tower attack or tower defense and there's enough people on, you can spread out that love between all the different players. So really if you're an active alliance, you can save on heal speed ups by doing small batch heals and allowing your alliance to heal them.
Mhm.
So that's a tip. I also want to touch base on things that most alliances, some players are doing before reset. I know Vikings does this a lot. I want to just explain to them or explain to the audience that the alliance gifts, when you're hunting like geckos and you're hunting lizards, you get alliance gifts from that. So, but you only get it for killing that one lizard. You should really be rallying your own lizard. And if you can't kill a lizard on your own, jump in on other alliance members' rallies. But if you can kill one on your own, you should be rallying your own lizard just to increase the amount of gifts that are being um, made. It helps the alliance overall as a whole, rather than 6 people in on one rally. So, if alliances are listening, those are subtle adjustments you can make to your gameplay that benefits the whole alliance.
Mhm.
That's my rant.
No, and it's true, right? Because
Yeah.
especially if you want to level up your gift level, that's the best thing to
Exactly.
do,
Yep.
right? Especially in your season. I don't see any excuse why people can't rally their own lizard because you can TPs are free in your area. You can go through your entire area, try to find every level 35 there is, and rally that thing. So that's a
Mhm.
lot more gifts, and that's a lot more rewards you have in your pocket, and same for your alliance. Um, but two things. One, I just gotta say, if you guys haven't done it already, go to Live ID, post your in-game ID, and the fairy will come along and present you with a nice little gift. And if you guys have any questions, I know it's been hard, especially for Dunatron. You know, the hand icon isn't to say hi; it's to actually come up on stage. And if you guys have any topics you want us to talk about, go to stage topics. Post something there. But the second thing, actually, Dunatron actually posted a breakdown of this question. Uh, Pretty long, so give me some time here. Part one. I have the highest combat speed in all rows. A. My first ant goes first and launches all skills. B. My first ant goes first, launches first skill, and their first ant goes. C. My ant goes first, followed by my second, then third, and then first goes. So what I mean by order of battle is what ants attacks first, and what ants goes next, and why. Whew. Okay, that was a lot for me to say. Otto, do you have any input of answering that question?
Well, combat speed is definitely. So I'm assuming you're a carrier main if you have the highest combat speed. Is that accurate, Dudatron? You are.
Oh, yeah, he's typing.
He's typing. Yeah, sure. Okay. So the benefit of carrier mains is they're very quick. So the combat speed definitely will help if those combat speeds are equal across all your lines, which I don't see why they wouldn't unless you have a combat speed boost with an insect. Um, you're going to attack first on all three of those instances. Now, how? No, no. Okay.
Oh, is it no that he's not carriers?
I don't know, but in the order of attack, it depends on the skill of the ants you're facing. Is there pre um is there pre uh is there pre-attack skills that you're facing that would stop your lines from attacking? Again, I am not the most technical person to be talking about this in regards to skill set. I listen to a lot of important people, or I should say intelligent people when it comes to this, and a lot of it goes over my head. But from what I understand is if you have a skill that's a pre-skill, even though you're facing carriers, that pre-skill will procs, and that will, whether or not you have the largest amount of combat skill or combat speed or not, you're gonna have a problem attacking with that line. So it all depends on who you're up against. So The answer to that question is yes, all three of your lines can attack first, depending on what you're attacking. So it's a yes and no, I guess. Is so combat
Yeah.
speed. Combat speed. Well, no, not all skills will launch. No, that's not accurate. Not all skills launch because skills are determined by percentage. When we say procs, the procs means the percentage of attack. So when people are talking about the procs rate, they're talking about how many times that skill actually activates. So you could have an ant that has a high procs that does low damage, but its attack goes off several times. Okay.
Yeah, and Dunatron, you can always go to the tactics team, strategy chat and advanced strategy. They can definitely break things down. They do a lot of testing.
Yeah. So, strategy chat is somewhere where you can now there's strategy chat and advanced strategy chat if you want to have an in-depth conversation with somebody. But for us to give you a definitive answer to how they function, to me, I look at it as like um, it's almost like voodoo magic sometimes. Cleo's posting a chart there.
Ooh, go Cleo.
Yeah, go Cleo. Cleo's posting a chart there. That chart will kind of give you an explanation on how the attack actually, the mechanics of the battle will go. I got Soul posting. Combat speed decides who hits first, right? Which makes a difference in PvP, not necessarily PvE. PvE, there is no attack of PvE characters unless you're in getting hit by the groundhog, but the Revenge of the Groundhog event. But it's not even really combat speed that determines that. You're getting hit no matter what.
Yeah, honestly, I just gotta say, I wish the devs could make a better,
Battle report system.
um, yeah, and even the graphics, like the little animation when you see, your ants and the other ants come fight each other one by one. I'll actually like to see them change that to complete a whole new system in a sense where, Otto, you have what, GT Remaster Laffy?
Yeah.
So let's use that for example. Seeing those three ants, little tiny itty bitty animations of them come up facing, let's say, MyPro, PA, GT, and Laffy, and then actually seeing, who's going to hit first. You actually see that ant attack first, just so it's a little bit more visualizing for players to see, and also a more in-depth visualization to actually see, okay, this ant attacks first. And who knows, maybe I might be going overboard here and even saying, actually seeing the skills being launched, having a little word text pop up saying, GT unleashes, fifth skill or whatever skill. Because for me personally, I'm more of a visualization person. Reading reports, okay, I'll understand them. Am I going to remember them after like a minute? Probably not. So if they could have that there, I feel like a lot more players would understand the mechanics of the game. But that's just maybe my opinion. Don't know if anyone else agrees with that.
Has anyone ever played Risk?
No.
No? Okay, so Risk is you have an army on one side and you have an army on the other side. And
Hmm.
the armies could be of different sizes, right? And then you roll dice to determine who wins and loses that specific battle. And that specific battle is, yeah, the board game Risk. And that specific battle is not the full army, but really only a certain number of how many dice you can roll, a maximum of 3, right? So the
Hmm.
player rolls 3 dice, the defender gets to roll 2 dice. That really gives you an explanation on how this works. Now, the dice obviously are determined by the procs rate or the percentages of attacks. Connick's up here if Connick wants to take this away.
Take what away?
I don't know. You're up here. Hi, buddy. What's going on?
Nah, it's all good. I was gonna ask, what do you perceive the SSA skill 8 to be then?
The jewel ant?
No, the Silver Saharan and skill 8. The
Ugh.
one that moves position backwards. +1.
Oh.
That's not a. That's. I'm still trying to figure out what a wise berserker looks like, Conic.
Doesn't mean you haven't married to one yet.
I have not seen one. No.
Well, we haven't even gone to Vast Jungle yet, so we can't even hatch any of those ants, unfortunately.
You can, but there's a low probability on other events.
I thought you would have to go to Vast Jungle first, and then they unlock. Or am I wrong?
You can see it if you have the Vast Jungle event open right now.
Yeah, I think Soul might know.
SSA Ant is supposed to have a 70% chance to increase its positioning distance in its squad by 1. Okay. When dealing damage, the damage is increased by 10% for every 1 range between its squad and target enemy squad at maximum. Okay. So I think Conic's question is it true that because there are no other ants that can reach that positioning, does it make it invincible during the course of battle, right, Conic? That's your
Yeah. Yes and no. Everyone assumed that it keeps +1 every round, so it'll go position 9. Which is not reachable to any skill range. Except for the EJ because it hits the back. And the brown rogue certain ants. Does that make sense to you? What people theorized?
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if it's true.
kind of makes sense, but also it is kind of tying that increase in damage based on its positioning distance. It doesn't mention anything about whether or not it can't be hit in that actual skill. Also, my next question would be, does when like let's say your front line gets wiped or your second line gets wiped, doesn't that now reset the positioning, Conic?
It will go to technically back, but that technically back will be positioning 2.
What do you mean positioning?
So you know
if-
how midline
let's
is
say it procs.
is
Let's say
positioning
that
2, right?
I'm sorry. Let's say that skill procs 1 time. So technically, that ant is going from line 3 to line 4. Okay. Front line gets wiped out. Now it's back in line technically 3 again, right?
People will assume to be. It'll be line 2.
It would be line.
Because you already have only 2 squads.
Well, technically line 3 if it moved back a position, right?
No, not in this case. If you look at the image I gave you.
Hold on.
Yeah, let's see this image. Ooh, kind of blurry. I can't see it too well. Okay, so it says judged once per round, there is a 32% probability that your team will stand at a distance of +1. It will be smaller than the enemy target when dealing damage. Every time the team is separated by 1, the damage is increased by 5. Oh. Okay, yeah, so that's That's very interesting.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Yeah, because I'm just trying to decipher in my head. I'm like, what does this mean exactly?
You know, if American invented this game, it would be like, here's your hammer. How fast do you swing it? Okay, you win. You know what I
Or
mean?
if it's Canadian, here's your maple syrup. How many bottles can you drink?
It means if you don't understand what it means, it basically means move back one position. But the moment skill 205 procs, it will go back to the original position.
Ah, so let's say if it's in the third line, oh sorry, second line, and your third line ant gets killed and moves back to the third line.
No, it's
Yeah. Yeah,
so
go
it's
ahead, Sol.
resetting every time when 2 and 5. Launch 2 attacks against enemy, mark each attack.
If it's in the middle line, it gets an increase to 1. So you can have 2
My God.
backline ants. You can have 2.
Each layer increases the damage, takes a skill level.
So you could have two backline ants.
If that
So-
proc happens, you can have, if it's in the middle line, you can have 2 backline ants attacking. But it resets back to the middle line after each round. And there's a 32% chance that it moves back 1. Now, if you're in the back line, does that mean you get a +1 to be in the 4th position? And what Conic is saying is there's no ant. But if you had a ranged ant in the front line, it has a range of 5, which would mean it could hit the back line. It could hit the 4th line. But who puts a ranged
Wait.
ant in the front row?
Or in
Which
the middle row.
people theorized it can't because of the position 9 of infinite stacking is what people theorized. Otto.
Infinite stacking, which means really?
Not true, but a lot of people think it is.
Oh, these
I
devils.
don't.
And
I don't
and the
think
other
that at all.
thing is too, isn't like you said, EJ labels it as hits the back line. So regardless of, it doesn't specify which line it is, right?
Yeah,
That's an
same with the Brown
example.
Rogue.
And Brown
Yep.
Rogue does the same thing. So do you see more ants like that coming out, or more descriptions of the skill being hits the back row as opposed to
Just,
third.
5 spots it hits. Or whatever the range it is. That's a good point, Jake, because I was just about to say.
Hold on a second. That's actually a very interesting conversation to have, because even if Brown Rogue, it's been a minute since I checked out Brown Rogue. Let me check out Brown Rogue.
Does this make Brown Rogue more relevant? Is the question.
Mhm. I have Brown Rogue, I even have dupes for it to be 5 stars. Don't ask me what his skills is, because I'm the same as Soul. I haven't checked that ant out in a while,
here's-
but I do know.
Here's the more interesting question.
It says
Conic.
last row.
It does say that the enemy squad in the last row, but it also gives an effective range for that skill of 5.
Right.
Mm.
But the question then remains: if he's on the front line, the 5th range is the 4th line,
What
or
happens
the
if-
line that it moves to.
But what happens? The question that I have is, and I would have to definitely do some testing on this, is, which means upgrading Brown Rogue. But what happens? What happens if the proc rate of SSA puts it into, like Conic said, 6th, 7th, 8th row? The other skills that would reset that don't proc. Okay. Now is it out of reach of Brown Rogue? What do you think,
probably-
Conic?
I think everyone who, it's very insulting if I say it. I think everyone who theorized that they can go so infinite is incorrect.
Well, I
And
agree.
Needs to fact check that.
I agree.
Yeah. I can't see the devs being like, here's an ant, it can move back spaces, and it's gonna go to a road that no ant in your march can hit whatsoever. Like, I can't see them doing that.
Cleo's actually making a valid point also that old ants that say back lines, we don't really know how it's programmed.
Yeah, maybe it says third line, maybe it says last line.
Drops out of the battle completely, which can affect which troops can be hit with different ranges. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier, Guppy. But the question remains: SSA is kind of unique in the sense that the way it's defined as the skill hitting is that it can move back. Like, let's assume fully leveled SSA 8-star. Okay, there's a 70% chance that it can move back a position, and it's increasing damage by 10. So the question remains is how far back is that positioning going to go? I mean, like, obviously it's all going to boil down to proc rates, but at a 70% chance, that's a decent proc rate.
Are we under the assumption that there is a fourth line available if the ant is in the back row? Are we making the assumption that it goes to another fictitious line that doesn't exist in the game? Is that what I'm understanding?
That was the assumption when it came out.
So it's
for
a
a number
pseudo dodge.
of reasons, because it was like one of the first ants that came out with a effective range of 6. Why
Right.
would you ever need an effective range of 6?
You wouldn't. Unless you were targeting a fourth line that ant, unless you're facing that same ant. So
Or unless you're in the fourth line and you're going against the back.
right.
Ooh.
That's the other explanation. Or the counter to itself is itself. Right? The counter to that ant's ability would be the same ant that could procs. So
Which makes sense, Cleo. What you're saying about like a logical speaking about the old coding, because if you look at effective range 5, even though its description as enemy in the back in the last row, I understand what you're saying, Cleo, about that part.
Well, all I know is that I don't have enough coffee to think this much. Oh my gosh. You guys are really putting my brain to the test today.
If
What
you
do you
guys
mean?
have
It's only
done
10
so
a.m.
already,
and 10
the
a.m.
live IDs should be up and running. Please post your live IDs for coming to stage today, listening in, or participating in the chat, so we can make sure that the fairies give you guys a nice little gift. If for some reason you can't see the channel, the live ID channel, feel free to DM myself or Otto. We'll make sure that you guys get credit for attending stage today.
Yep. And with that being said, it comes to the end. Wolfie, don't you dare spam DM. I'm gonna make sure Otto and Soul tells me if you do. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Actually,
no, we're
couple
going to
hours.
see you in a couple hours.
Oh yeah.
We have a special live event happening. We're going to get to know the mod team, so stay tuned for that. I want to apologize to anyone who tried to listen on YouTube at the beginning. There was an audio issue. I have fixed it. I am a streaming noob, but it is recording, and I will be posting that video with the full transcript and new feature. We will be able to view in multiple languages with subtitles. So stay tuned for that. And don't worry, Cleo, your turn is coming soon. We're gonna do an interview with the tactics team, and you're more than welcome to join.
Too late, Cleo. You already put it out there.
It's an open invitation, Cleo. more than happy to
Oh.
have you come and explain what the tactics team's all about. And really appreciate everyone for taking the time to spend with us. If you haven't done so already, please go over to the YouTube video, like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Again, I apologize for the beginning audio issues, but they are fixed. And today's live stage in the afternoon should go off without a hitch. So we'll see you guys back in a few hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care, everyone.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, this is Josh. This is from April 28th last year.
It showed up.